So this is Vinod. I run properties, and actually I lived in the US for a number of years. Moved back to India about a few years ago, and we started properties about 2.5, 3 years ago. Currently, about 300 odd properties. Essentially, the purpose was we thought managing a property is a big pain for a person who's not living in that house himself or herself. So essentially, we bring a good night's sleep, or we try to we try to give a good night's sleep to a owner who is not actually living in that property. So as an example, Rohit Sheth living in Chicago has a property in Bangalore, 8,000 miles away, very difficult to manage, very difficult to rely on friends, relatives. That's where we came in and help Rohit Sheth, who's 8,000 miles away, to monetize, maintain, actually in the form of rental, resale, and making sure that the value of his property is enhancing, not degrading. So there are a couple of ways. One is it's very difficult for a person who's living 8,000 miles away or even 1,000 miles away. As an example, Raghav Reddy lives in Hyderabad but has a property in Bangalore. Same issues, right? So the way we are able to do that is we are able to create value, one in the form of monetizing it, in the form of rental or resale. Secondly, we have a contracting team, so we are able to prevent degradation. So if any work needs to be done on the property, we have a we have a solid process, people around that to make sure that we are able to carry out the task, whether it repairs, whether it's maintenance, whether it's anything to do with that property. So essentially, we create value in two form. To be to be fair, is one is to monetize easily, and secondly is to prevent degradation, thus enhancing the value. So, as a startup, typically you may or may not have a system and a process and a technology to start with, and that's exactly where we also were in the same boat. Actually, we used a lot of emails, we used a lot of sheets, we used a lot of Google Sheets, we used phone calls, we used WhatsApp messages. So combination of unstructured, I would say unstructured channels in order to service the customer. uh, Whether it was communication, whether it was updates, whether it was anything to do in making that experience uh, a little seamless. Obviously, it wasn't as seamless because it dependent a lot on people, and people doing certain things either manually or through some channels. So before we started using Orgzit, in summary, that's why a lot of offline mechanisms, as I said, emails and phone calls and WhatsApp messages, sheets, and things like that. So what we had was essentially a single point of contact for the owners. So, for example, if Rohit Sheth owned three properties in India, he had one single point of contact from our side, and the it would typically be through emails or through phone calls or through WhatsApp messages. So very offline mechanisms is what we were using to a large extent. It was again a lot of phone calls and a lot of Google Sheets and emails essentially. So we really didn't have a common thread or a common way to make sure that there was uh, there was a direct communication happening or a direct line of channel, which was kind of very ineffective and inefficient, and very heavily dependent on one of our Spock or one of our single point of contact. For example, Ramesh, either remembering that he has to do 10 things, or remembering that he has to send 15 emails, or remembering that he has to send an update when a certain activity got carried out. So it was a lot of uh, it depended a lot on a person's capability to sort of remember or make notes and then execute it. I think the challenging part was particularly when a customer, as an example, Rohit Sheth, gives us a key which is about a 1 crore worth, or his property which is about a 1 crore worth. He's expecting One is he's expecting timely updates. He's expecting transparency. He's expecting give him good news or bad news, but give him on a frequent basis, right? And all these things dependent actually until we have some new systems, it were all dependent on a person's individual capability to service those expectations. So that was probably the most challenging part, because if the spock or the single point of contact forgot about something, uh, you would hear from Rohit Sheth, right, as an owner or as a property owner, that hey, how come I didn't get my update, or how come I didn't see this in a timely fashion, things like that. So that was probably the most challenging part we had to deal with. um, though we had divided you know properties in multiple spocks, or multiple point of contacts, right? So time consuming, I would say, is obviously each email takes a lot of time, each updates take a lot of time. uh, Gathering certain activities together, putting it up in a structured fashion, and giving an update to the owner takes a lot of time. And as soon as there is uh, people involved, there is a great chance of some things being missed, or some things being inaccurate. uh, so those were some of the time consuming as well as the challenging tasks which we came across in our day-to-day lives, and and there would be days when the Spock may have to send 20 different updates to 20 different properties, or 20 different owners, right? And that could have easily consumed him a couple of days to actually gather all that information, gather all the data points, collate it, put it in a fashion which can be easily understood. uh, and so those were quite time consuming and challenging tasks, to summarize that. So I think, as far as the results, our updates have become super efficient, uh, in the sense, what we do is, typically at the end of the month, we generally send an update to all our property owners uh, for the various types of activities being carried out during the month. Previously, it could easily take us about 3 days to do that. Now it's a matter of a couple of hours, in order to make sure that we are able to present that in a very simple, seamless manner to the owners. So so that's a big win for us. Secondly, um, as an example, uh, a tenant lead visiting the apartment to see the apartment, right? That he's interested in renting that apartment out. Say Mahesh Srivastav has gone and seen this Mantri Espana apartment. Uh, Now sometimes it used to take us a couple of days or 2-3 days to come back and get all the pictures together, send a note back to the owner that, hey, what is the feedback from this tenant? Now we are a matter of a click of a button, where through the app or through Orgzit app, whether it's web or mobile, the person is immediately able to upload the pictures. Person is immediately able to send a notification to the owner. Hey, this Mahesh Srivastav had visited the property. Here is the quick feedback. And if there is an interest, we'll be able to get in touch with you. So the customer serviceability factor, or customer serviceability index, and customer engagement index have gone up many-fold, essentially. So essentially, customer engagement and customer serviceability have improved many-fold. One example I gave, some updates we used to take 3 days. Now we are able to get it in about 2-3 hours, right? So that's a phenomenal win for us in customer serviceability. Uh, Secondly, there are automated notifications which goes out, sometimes which could have easily taken us 2 or 3 days. Now we are able to do in a matter of minutes, within 10-15 minutes, to get the information together, get it out to them. So the customer engagement index has also gone up multiple fold. From an operational perspective, the same single point of contact from our team member, one of our on-ground team member is able to service many more properties now. For example, if they were able to service 30 properties as one person, now the person is easily able to serve 50 or 60 properties. So he's been able to be efficient almost twice than what he was previously used to be, right? So that serviceability index has gone up very well. Now a person doesn't have to really sit and come back and write emails and emails galore, right? There is certainly a great amount of savings in the amount of effort or time what it used to require uh, to do 60, 80, 100 properties. So the scale of operational scale can easily go up now from that single person who used to be able to do 30, 40 properties now can easily do, my guess is 80 to 100 properties, so almost 3x, 4x. My guess is we should be able to say that we will definitely do a ROI analysis maybe early part of next year. But I think within 10 to 12 months, we should be able to reap significant benefits out of the systems. Based on our scenario, Orgzit was able to mold the product to a real estate property management business without much fanfare. uh, Almost like your off-the-shelf product was with some minor tweaks. You were able to almost white label it for us, or you were able to make it uh, ready to use. So that was a no-brainer for us. That go to market became very much easier for us. Get the system up and running within a matter of a month. We were able to do it with your team's help. And we were never particularly, I was never of the opinion that we need to go for a customizable type of a solution, because what we saw in Orgzit was able to meet 80-90% of what we wanted to do. So we essentially molded or we essentially adapted to that quickly, and maybe minor tweaks in our internal processes to make sure that we do it so that we can go to market quickly. We were able to actually go live within a matter of a month. As soon as we got our data points, as soon as we got our data uploaded, get data got set up, we started using the system within a very short period of time. We don't charge our owners or our customers for the product, for the technology piece. The benefits were actually from our efficiency, from say, going to market quickly, uh, gaining the efficiency, improving our customer serviceability index, and also we were able to uh, say, hey, if it is a reasonable cost for us to go live, obviously we cannot pass on the cost because it's more like a tool or technology for internal purpose, though it's making both the customers as well as our operational team efficient. uh, we said, and when we scale up, obviously the cost will be, a large portion of that was variable. So if you scale up, if you have more customers, more properties under the wings, then we pay more money for the SaaS product. So I think that the tweaks we worked with Orgzit on the cost structure were able to get us going quickly with some commitment, with some time commitment, with certain money commitment, that at least we need to make sure that we cover you in initial X number of months or so that that's I think that made us quickly jump onto the solution. So I believe I knew Pawan before, back from Bangalore days a few years ago, and I think we had kept in touch on LinkedIn, and that I was aware that you were doing a product for a task management type of solution, and I've been talking to you folks, I think, or Pawan and you, for about a year or so, uh, where we had realized is we needed a solution or a platform which focused on the operational aspects or the tasks or the activity based type of which was the heart and soul of our business. So uh, once we honed on that, or once we realized that, hey, we needed something which will essentially satisfy that the core part of the business, which is the operational angle to it, uh, we can bubble up and move up and take care of the customers. So and that's how it fell in place for us, essentially to make sure that that was aligned with our also aligned with our goals, and that's why we decided to move further and actually go and implement it quickly. There was a good amount of love and attention which was given, uh, and we needed some minor tweaks here and there. You guys were able to jump in quickly, uh, as long as we could identify, we could explain you what we were looking for in order to improve our customer serviceability. That was number two. And number three, our expectation was like pretty much matched as to what we were looking for. We didn't want a really very expensive and very customized type of a solution. We wanted something which is simple, seamless, and does certain things for us. As long as it was able to do about 85-90% of those, we were ready to do that. So I think those were the three key factors which helped us move quickly onto this. Definitely, if somebody is looking for something simple, something which provides enough value, something which is which is a task or an operational heavy operational focused uh, or heavy activity based type of a system where you're it's I guess working with many different angles to it, uh, and we really didn't have anybody coding the product or anything else, or customizing it. We were able to understand this product ourselves, and write few things here and there, and able to actually move the product to our liking. So if somebody is looking for those 3-4 things, I think it makes a great sense for them to take a look at the Orgzit web and mobile version of the apps. It was definitely very easy, being a very configurable, easy to configure type of a product. And if somebody has worked in the software, or even without a whole lot of software, one can easily understand and minor tweaks here and there, get reports, understand, make changes, even go to the tables and manage the tables, things like that. So I really don't have a technical background, but from a business process or business background, it was quite easy to sort of learn and adapt, or minor tweaks here and there. We were able to get it up. My recommendation is, again, if there are 2 or 3 key factors, if you want to implement a system quickly, go to market quickly. That's number one. Number two, a decent value for the product. It gives you a great value if you're able to work out certain parameters with Orgzit team. Number three, whether the team is a lot depends on the team adoption, right? Any technology or any product, the adoption is very important, and it it doesn't have too many bells and whistles, or it doesn't have too many complicated way of doing things, which makes it very easy for a team to adopt the system. So if they are looking for, and the fourth thing was, if they are looking for a solution which is a lot to do with task management, activity based, and things like that, those 3 or 4 factors really play a great role for somebody to quickly should definitely consider Orgzit as a product in their day-to-day lives.